Bleacher Report dropped a NBA mock draft the other day, and they are predicting an Anthony Davis trade on draft night. Now, before we landed the number 1 pick, I was actually open to us keeping Anthony Davis, but after all of the comments on his interviews and some of the news and reports that I've heard recently, I think we should consider trading him on draft night. Why wait till next year's deadline? If we were sitting at a position where we had the 5th overall pick and not the 1st, then I would be saying, hey man, we got to go all in with this Anthony Davis and Trae Young thing. Like, we absolutely have to. We need to go and try to get a 3rd star, and I'm still open to that as well, but I'm like, okay, we got the 5th pick coming in. This is going to be a backup point guard of the future. All we got is AD and our young bucks. We're missing a piece if we really want to get serious. But now that the Wizards have the number 1 pick, hey, we got options. We can be a little picky. We can be a little bougie. You know what I'm saying? With this AD situation. And he's giving prima donna vibes already, and he hasn't really played a game for us. And we already know he wants his money. We already know that he wants to be on a championship caliber team, even though he really doesn't have championship caliber availability. But it is what it is, man. Most of the reports that I've been reading have us trying to trade Anthony Davis at the trade deadline with the mindset that his trade value will be a lot higher than it is now. But who's to say that his trade value doesn't dip even more? What if he does get a freak injury around Christmas time that keeps him out for a few weeks, or right before the deadline, and then just like last year, his value plummets? I think that's more of a risk than go ahead and trading him on draft night. And it looks like they have us trading him to the Golden State Warriors for the number 11th pick. This guy is a Warriors fan and he makes Warriors content, and I'm just going to get his perspective on
who, if we're going to talk about Anthony Davis's health issues, well, Jimmy Butler's coming off of a torn ACL, and there's no guarantee that he's going to be ripe and ready to go 100% by the time the season starts. Anthony Davis, as a matter of fact, I have a little bit more confidence in that being. So here is Bleacher Report's trade that they threw out there. AD to Golden State for Jimmy Butler, the number 11 pick, and then a 2030 first round swap rights go to Washington too. It's that basically the Warriors pick they already have over there. The rest of it would be going over there to the Wizards there, 21 through 30. It's really the 11th overall pick is the highlighter here for Anthony Davis. Jimmy Butler's on an expiring deal, and that's what Bleacher Report thinks it would take.
So the big question with this deal is the number 11 pick worth taking back Jimmy Butler? That's the big question for me. We definitely understand why the Warriors do this deal. The Warriors do this deal because they want to maximize the timeline that they have left with Steph Curry. Plain and simple. And Anthony Davis feels a role that they need. And some people are saying that they could probably throw in Kristaps Porzingis in this deal just so that we have a player that we can play. I can see the Warriors wanting to keep Anthony Davis and Kristaps at the same time. I don't know if we take Nate Amin at 11. I think I prefer someone like Yaxel, even though he's a little bit older, if we do make a deal such as that. And I wouldn't mind if Ade Mara fell all the way to 11 and we took him. I'm hoping that we would take some sort of a big, even a Koa Pete. He's more of an undersized power forward, but I wouldn't mind us taking Koa Pete at number 11, or even taking a chance on Jaden Quayton.
Here's what Buckley said on the matter. The Warriors seemingly don't have the stomach to place an all-in wager on Giannis Antetokounmpo, which, frankly, might not be enough to get him anyway. But how about a half-in gamble on Davis? They need this kind of size, strength, and interior protection he'd provide. Plus, he might be the perfect recruiter to grant their LeBron James wish in free agency. The Wizards, meanwhile, may not have what Davis wants, but that's arguably better for their timeline. Their young core can keep developing at its own pace. Only it would have now
that's
Trae Young
what I'm
around
saying
to help
right
put
there.
everyone
There's no
in the
pressure
right
for
place.
us to rush the development of the young players, and we can continue to go at our own pace and just weed out these young players. And there's still more drafts to come. 2027's draft may not be the most elite draft, but you might find the gem or a diamond in the rough. And we got Will Dawkins, man. Clearly, he's good at finding diamonds in the rough. Our roster isn't necessarily set in stone if we continue down this path of developing young players. If we do trade Anthony Davis, I feel like we do need at least one or two veterans to mitigate some of the tendencies of young players that we have on our team. And I'm not talking Chris Middleton veterans. I'm talking about veterans that can actually play at a high level. No offense to Chris Middleton. Trae Young, he's going to move the needle for this young team. He's going to unlock Bilal. He's going to take some pressure off Keyshawn with the ball. We can hopefully Bub Carrington can develop into a backup point. They're going to experiment with Will Riley playing backup point, or maybe they're going to make a deal and draft a point guard later in the draft, and then just sign a big man. That is a huge question mark going forward for the team. Okay, so we saw what a trade would look like with the Warriors, and we know the potential that we have with the number 11 pick of drafting a big or a future backup point guard like LeBaron Philon as well. But what are some other deals that we could make? One of the first ones that comes to my mind is with the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't think that they have any immediate draft picks to give up, but they are also in and running for Giannis, and they probably have one of the top 3 deals to pursue Giannis. But if that falls through, they also would be interested in trading for Anthony Davis. In my opinion, this is what it would take for me to accept an Anthony Davis trade. Just for money, we have to take Jeremy Grant. So we're going to sit an AD there. And because Anthony Davis, especially when healthy, is miles ahead of Jeremy Grant, we need a young player. We know they're not giving us Denny back. They're not going to give us Denny back. I think that will work out well. We don't want Drew necessarily, and they're probably going to want Drew just in case Damian Lillard comes back a little slower. I'm over here looking at Scoop or Shaden, bro. I can't really see them giving up Shaden Sharp, so just give me Scoot Henderson and maybe a second-round pick or something. And then I still have a veteran power forward that can start next to Sarr and provide some type of leadership. He's definitely not going to interfere with anybody's development and taking shots away from AJ or anybody else. And then Scoot Henderson fills that future point guard role. He can come off the bench and back up Trae. Him and Bub can play together. Him and Trae can play together on the floor. Trae Johnson at that. And maybe him and Trae Young can play together. Now I think we're a little bit short on some money. They're definitely not going to give us Tumani Kamara, even though I would love to have him as an extra young player. So I could see them giving us either Chris Murray or Blake Wesley. Crazy enough, we had him on our team when we made that San Antonio trade. I'm just going to throw Chris Murray in there because, just filler. Let's see if this works. Okay, that was successful. That's one AD trade I could see happening. And we still get that veteran piece. We get a backup young point guard. And then Portland doesn't necessarily have to mortgage their future just for a Giannis deal. They get AD to play next to Klingon. They still have Shaden Sharp. And then Drew Holiday can back up Damian Lillard. Or you can let Damian Lillard come off the bench. Or you can just let Shaden Sharp come off the bench and start Drew Holiday along with Damian Lillard. I like it. I like it for our team. I like it for both parties. But yeah, I just want to come in here and talk about that mock trade that I saw on Bleacher Report. Regardless, I think if we do decide to keep him, either go all in on him and sign a veteran or just hold on to him until the trade deadline. I think that's super duper risky. I think we should just go ahead and bite the bullet. AJ coming on the way or Darren Peterson. I think at least 30% of the fan base is all in on Darren Peterson. We already have one of those guys coming in. We don't necessarily have to ruin the youth movement. And there's other veterans we can get in here to help the young guys stick together. Let me know what y'all think. What trade ideas do you have for Anthony Davis? Are you all in on us extending AD, trading him at the deadline, trading him on draft night? And if we do trade him on draft night to the Warriors, who do you guys think we should get at number 11? Thanks for rocking out with me. Stay tuned for more content and peace.